Help me to stay competitive against the big multinational corporations by subscribing to this channel, hitting the notification bell, liking the video, and maybe leaving a comment in the comment sections below. Thank you very much and enjoy the video.
Does Labour think that we should remain members of the single market?
Theresa May...
I'm just trying to clarify, does Labour agree with paying that price tag as union?
It is Labour's position to do what is right for British business and British industry.
Right, and does that mean remaining a member of the customs union?
Depending on how the negotiations go, the cards prove that coming out of the customs union, as Theresa May has indicated that she wants to do, could prove catastrophic and also could actually destroy our
You do accept.
Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little skit there. I was demonstrating to you Diane Abbott's normal capacity for reasoning. I will, however, be showing you in a moment something that we never thought could actually happen, and that is, of course, Diane Abbott has finally said something that makes sense. I know this is hard to understand. I know it's hard to take on board. I know we're living through trying times at the moment, and I'm certainly not defending Diane Abbott as a person. I think she's a person of pretty crappy ideas, but every now and again you find a diamond in the rough, and it seems that Diane Abbott has got some inspiration from somewhere. I don't know where, but she's got it from somewhere. So we're going to take a look at this. I should think actually it came from her envy of the rich, although I say the envy of the rich, quote unquote. She is, of course, very financially stable herself, and that is putting it lightly. But of course, she's not a multimillionaire. Let's stay grounded. She's not a Richard Branson or a Bill Gates. She's a Diane Abbott, which is worse. So we're going to take a look at her tweet now. We're going to find out why exactly she is right for what she said. So take a look down below. Okay, so as you can see, Diane Abbott has finally managed to say something that at least borders on the sensible. Here she's saying that Richard Branson and his Virgin Group have not paid tax in the United Kingdom for many, many, many years, probably never paid tax in the United Kingdom, because his Virgin Group is domiciled for tax purposes in the West Indies. Of course, you can only put 140 digits into a tweet, so she left that out. I'm guessing she knows that, because you see, as I said a moment ago, in the United Kingdom, you have your Democrats. Here in the UK, we have our Labour Party. Like in Australia, they have a Labour Party. They're all the same thing, even though they might have a different name. But it is all the same. It's hollow socialism. It's light socialism. It's what they can get away with. It's not loving the poor. Nancy Pelosi demonstrates that herself with her district. It's hating other rich people, and namely people who are richer than themselves. They like to ingratiate themselves with the hoi polloi, people like myself and you, but they, in actual fact, share no semblance to our lives whatsoever. Getting back to Virgin Group, the one thing I would say in Richard Branson's defence is he does employ a lot of people in the United Kingdom and they pay tax. However, that doesn't excuse the fact that he and his business have not paid tax here for quite some time, well, forever. And on top of that, let's face it, Diane Abbott does have a point. If a company and an individual who's as wealthy as Branson, who owns private islands, have never paid tax in this country, regardless of if they employ people here or not, because he could pay tax here and still be a billionaire. He could do that. Okay, and that's not, I'm not talking socialist here, I'm just talking common sense. He has the money to do that, but he chooses not to. Like so many of the other elites, they choose not to, because For some people, when they get money, it's never enough. They need more and more of it to feed the beast. Why should somebody who has never paid tax in this country get a taxpayer-funded bailout? And of course, the only answer to that can be the aforementioned fact that he has many thousands of employees who live and work in this country and pay tax, and if his company goes under, so do they. Branson to mortgage Caribbean island as he seeks Virgin bailout. Fresh appeal comes after UK government rejects initial proposals for a £500 million loan. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Well, it is a lot. However, just wait. So Richard Branson has said that he will mortgage his private Caribbean island to raise money to help his Virgin Group empire, as he pleaded with the UK government to step up and save his Virgin Atlantic airline from collapse. Branson, who is the UK's 7th richest person with £4.7 billion, remember, he made the pledge as he tried to convince the government that his airline to give his airline £500 million. The reality of this unprecedented crisis is that many airlines around the world need government support, and many have already received it. Branson is facing mounting criticism, Diane Abbott, from the taxpayer for asking assistance from the taxpayer rather than using his own fortune to rescue the airlines. This is exactly what I'm getting at, and I never thought I'd be on the same page as Diane Abbott on something for the first time in my life, but as you go on through the years, you finally realise that life is full of surprises, and this is a surprise. But like she said, and like a lot of people are saying, and I certainly believe this, Richard Branson is asking for a £400 million loan, okay, to keep his business afloat, whilst he's sitting on a personal fortune of £4.7 billion. Now, if he was to take that money out of his own fortune, he would be left with a measly £4.1 billion. But the thought just doesn't register until he gets publicly shamed, because that's what these people really care about more than anything, because they know that they're never going to be arrested for any crime. I'm not saying Richard Branson has committed a crime. I'm just saying that the wealthier you are, the less likely you are to ever be held accountable for your actions. Prisons and courts are only for working class people. I'm sure everyone understands that now. The higher up the food chain you go, the higher up the monetary chain you go, the harder it is for you to be held accountable for your own actions. And if you're the landed gentry, for example, here in the United Kingdom, if you are a lord, a lady, a member of parliament, you never get held accountable for anything. I think the only time they've ever been held accountable for anything is when Jeffrey Archer was sent to prison, and then it took 2 juries to convict him, because it's just something people don't want to do, whether they're guilty or not. Look at the expenses scandals. They were using elected MPs were using taxpayers' money to pay for duck ponds and to pay their mortgages when they were meant to be for rent on second homes when they came into London, when they came into the city. But they were using them to pay off their mortgage, using our taxpayer money to pay off their mortgage. So when you look at it through that prism, is it any surprise really that the rich and the wealthy thought they could go to the government and say, yeah, come on, give me some of that taxpayer money, you do it, we do it, hand it over? And they probably would have got it as well if it wasn't for such a big stink being kicked up by people, because this is just a bit too much. The man has £4.7 billion and he's asking for £500 million loan. There's nothing stopping him from taking that money out of his own amassed fortune. 4.7 billion is a ridiculous amount of money, a sickening amount of money. However, I am a capitalist and I fully understand his right to amass fortune. I agree with him. I respect him. I respect his hustle. However, When the going gets tough, because Richard Branson has had it good for a long time, but when the going gets tough, that amassed pile of gold coins is there for a reason. You've amassed it for a reason. It's there, use it. We've got nothing left to give. The country's heavily indebted as it is, and that was before this pandemic outbreak began. Our children have tens of thousands of pounds worth of debt put on their head the moment they slip out of the womb. What more do you want? You're the wealthy, you're the privileged, we're not. You pay for it. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below, and I'll see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, share, because that helps me stay competitive with the big multinational corporations that YouTube has chosen to prioritise. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.